Local, around the clock. This is CLTV.
Dating, it can be a dilemma at times. For instance, how can you be certain that your new boyfriend or girlfriend is who they say they are? Well, in a nutshell, that's the undercurrent for the plot of a new crime and romance mystery by Chicago author Laura Caldwell. Question of Trust, just out this week, is the 5th book in a series featuring heroine Izzy McNeil, a Chicago attorney. Her creator, author Laura Caldwell, joining us from the Tribune Tower. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Monica. How are you? Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday is right. Well, first of all, so Izzy's an attorney.
Correct.
You're a former trial lawyer. Got to ask you up front, is Izzy you?
No, you know, Izzy is a redheaded, sassy lawyer.
Okay, you could match that.
There could be some similarities there, but she moonlights as a private detective.
Ah, I see.
So in this book, her young, hot boyfriend is arrested for white-collar fraud. His business partner tries to commit suicide. A neighbor ends up dead, and she starts to wonder if she's sleeping with the enemy.
Got it. Sounds like a definite page-turner, a good weekend read, so be it.
It would be a perfect weekend read,
yeah. There you go. Well, you know, I think what's interesting is this book is by you, a Chicago person, a former trial lawyer. You're a professor now at Loyola University, a law professor, and it's set in Chicago. It's all things Chicago. A lot of people watching this are going to say, you know, I got to write a book. How do you get from A to Z and make this happen in your life?
Well, I will say, you know, Chicago is probably one of the best characters around, and she continually unfolds and has new facets of her personality. But I do think everybody has a book in them. And the way I started, I did not write as a kid. I was not meant to do this. I'm not particularly naturally gifted at it, but I picked it up as a hobby after I started practicing law. And my teacher taught me, make a goal for every week. I'm going to write 1 time. I'm going to write 3 times. I'm going to write a paragraph. And you just take it week by week. Because I think what happens is people think about writing a book and they look at the big picture and it's just too big.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. So you just make some notes and then you round up the next week and you say, what am I going to do this week? I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to do 2 paragraphs.
Well,
and that's literally how I put it together.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. And now you're how many books along? I mean, 5th in this
13.
series. You've done other books as well. So obviously something good in that advice. But you're obviously also a very dedicated person in many ways, because I should mention that you also, in your work at Loyola, you're the founder of the project called
Life After Innocence.
And
so
it helps people who've been in prison but were exonerated.
Right, exactly. So you report on a lot of these stories. Maybe it's DNA or some other reason why someone is released from prison and everyone agrees they did not do the crime. They fall between the cracks a little bit. They don't get any services even like parolees. So at Loyola Law School, Life After Innocence basically works with exonerees to just help them start their lives over, get their records cleaned up, try to get them a job, just about anything.
You're kind of turning into a bit of a superwoman there, Laura. That's a lot of stuff to juggle on one plate. But we'll have to talk more about that sometime. But thanks so much for joining us. And
I'd love to.
The new book,
Question of Trust. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. You can get it now. It's in the Izzy McNeil series. Thanks, Laura.
Have a good weekend.